Well, hello there, fabulous Twitter. Twitter? Did I say Twitter? I didn't mean Twitter. Obviously not. I meant Twitch. Hello, everybody. If you're watching, you're probably looking at an advert for something right now. I hope it's something good. I hope it's something exciting and that you actually want. It rarely happens with adverts in my experience. It's usually a bunch of stuff that you don't really care about, isn't it? But don't worry, if you've made it through this far, then you are joining us here on the live stream. We are broadcasting on Twitch, as we do most Tuesdays, for about an hour and a half, part of the Asmodee Digital Twitch streaming channel. And what we do here is we play board games, mostly new ones that haven't been released or even played yet, perhaps. We do a lot of previews around these parts. We play games that are still in soft launch or in beta, and occasionally we do the grand releases as well. It's very exciting stuff, at least I get excited about it, because I find this event's quite a lot of fun. I do enjoy playing the games and playing them for you people. Now, you might have joined us last week when we were celebrating the launch of Terraforming Mars. It was a really interesting game to play. Unfortunately, the stream itself was beset by horrible technical issues. If you watched it last week, I can only apologize. If it was frustrating for you to watch, then it was agony for me to do it, because there was a big delay in the audio from my guests, who were very, very kind to join us for the stream. But I was just enormously frustrated because there was no way of fixing these internet issues that we were having. Sometimes the old communications, the Skypes and the Google Hangouts, they let you down. And that's what happened last week. So apologies if it was a frustrating watch. We hope you saw some of the game anyway. But the important thing is that we are back here with no technical issues whatsoever to play a game that has been in soft launch for a little bit. I think the word soon is going to be applied. Andy457 here saying, when does it come out? I'm going to say soon for the moment, but I am actually checking up on the confirmed release date with my Asmodee people as we speak. I may even get an answer during the stream, but I don't want to say anything yet, just in case I spill the beans that I shouldn't spill, and then beans everywhere, and beans, especially when they're not cooked, they're quite dry, and you'll trip up on them and you'll fall, and it will be like something at Home Alone. So I don't want to do that. However, what we are going to do is wander through this game. I've been playing it a little bit, but I'm still not, 100% familiar. I've done the tutorial and played a bit of the game, but we'll walk through the tutorial, show you what it's all about, and then we'll play some games as usual and up the stakes as we go. That's generally how we do it around here. Bit of tutorial, then play against one person or two people or three people and see if I can take them on and not get completely battered in the process, which I'm not going to lie, does happen from time to time. I'll wait for a couple more people to roll in. In the meantime, if you are watching, shout out. Let us know that you are here. Don't be shy. Go and leave a comment in the old chat room there. We're a friendly bunch, and we love hearing from you guys, especially when it's got something to do with, hey, board games and whatever we're playing and all that kind of business. We've already had one request for when the game launches, and as I say, we will follow that up as soon as we have an answer, if I can. But I can't guarantee that we're allowed to give away what might be considered like quite sensitive information regarding game release dates and all that sort of thing. I'm a little bit warm. Don't get too excited, but I'm going to lose this hoodie. It's too warm for streaming in this at the minute, which is good because it's been freezing around these parts for absolutely ages. So, the way this works, we're going to be doing the Learn to Play section, where we have a go at the game and see how it stands up. As I say, I've already had a go at it. Oh my god, I'm attached to my hoodie at the moment. There we go, much better. And we can see how this bad boy plays. So, let's dive straight in here with Learn to Play. First thing you'll notice, very nice looking game. It's one of those ones that's done a kind of 2.5D animation style, so it's got what look like paintings. The artwork is two-dimensional, but it moves and breathes in that way that you see some of those kind of anime interactive novels. Bit like that. So, let's talk about the game. Love Letter is a game of risk, deduction, and luck. You must get your love letter into Princess Annette's hand, while deflecting the letters from competing suitors. This is an unusual game in the way it's laid out. Firstly, you've got very few cards. So as it says here, from a deck of only 16 cards, each player starts with one secret card in their hand. They draw one from a deck and play one of the two that they now have. So it's about having the best card in your hand, which is like a normal card game, but it only needs to be that one card. The rest of them you can discard as you go, and the idea is at the end of the round, if you've got the most powerful card, or the card that can best communicate your letter to the princess, then you win. Then you can knock other players out as you go. No deck of 52 cards, no constant building or anything like that. 16 cards, that's it. So it's quite streamlined. Try to knock the other players out of the game by having the highest valued card at the end of the round. They'll show you the values in just a minute. So, my opponent, Senji's been dealt a card, and I've been dealt one as well. So the card in my hand, whatever you're holding, whatever pulsing one is here, that's the person who's going to be taking the letter to Princess Annette. So whichever card I have in my hand is my messenger, right? Let's have a look at it. So I've got the priest here. See what I mean about the artwork? All that kind of flexing and breathing. It's kind of neat. So each of the cards has a number in the top corner here. So this is a 2 valued card, not a very high value card, but it does have abilities that we can use. There are stars down here in the left hand side. This shows you how many of those cards are in the deck. So in the deck of 16 there are 2 priest cards, because you can see, and I've got one of them. One of the stars is lit up and the other one is just a black outline indicating there's still one more. And then they give you the information about what the card does at the bottom. So in this case, you can look at the other player's hand. So here we go. At the start of a player's turn, they draw a new card from the deck, like we just did. Whoop-bump. Here we go, is another one. So, playing the priest card allows you to view the other player's card, revealing who carries their message. And we want to find out what card they have and who's bringing their message to the princess. The number at the top of the value is the value, so I said that earlier, the number 2. Anywhere between 1 and 8 is what you can get. So the priest is not a good card for carrying the message, but we can use him. We'll use the priest's ability to view your opponent's card. So we can exit the card there, and what we're going to do is drag the card into my opponent's playing area, which is this. Now, this shows what card they're holding. They're holding the guard card. So that's what's been revealed to us now. You can see here the guard is a very low value card, only has a 1 on it, so not good for passing messages on, but it has the mad skill. So it allows the player holding it to name a non-guard card and choose another player. If that player has that card, he or she is out of the round. So this is where it becomes like a guessing game. So with the guard card, basically, you can then go, right, I play the guard card, and you pick a player at random. I think you've got, say, for example, the handmaid, which I do have. So if they pick me and said, I reckon you've got, the handmaid, that would be a successful guess. And I would immediately be out of the round. And the way you can do this is by deducting based on what cards have been played, what cards you have in your hand, and the fact that there are only 16 cards in the deck. So you can kind of have a good guess at what the opponent might be holding, and then use that to kick him out of the game. So now it's the opponent's turn. Your used card is discarded face up in the play area. So this helps you keep track of what's been played, what's been used from the deck, and what might still be in the deck. So your opponent has used the guard that we knew they had, because we used our card earlier, we knew they had a guard card, to guess if we have the countess. So that was their guess. They played it, they went, I reckon you've got the countess. They played it and nothing. Unfortunately for them, fortunately for us, we knew that we had the handmaid. So they weren't able to guess our card. As a result, they have failed. And it gives you all the information down the bottom here. It's just showing you right there. So when a card is played, it's shown to all players along with the result of the action. So that's their crest. This is my crest. And in the middle, it shows you what's happened. And you can click it if you want to get a clear idea in text of what's just happened. So Senji incorrectly guessed your hand. That was the action. Which is, as I say, great news for me. Not obviously brilliant news for them, but who cares about them really? So the player who played the card is shown on the left, the action is in the middle, and the target player is on the right. So the thing I just explained to you there. If the guess was correct, the loser's seal would shatter, and a wreath would surround the winner's icon. If the guess failed, a red cross will appear in the middle, which is what happened. So tough luck for them. We can close the card now. They've played that, we've played the priest. So we now know those 2 cards are gone, and I now know that I have the handmaid and the princess. So that's 4 of the cards out of the 16 that are in play. Now then, we found the princess. Click her card. Princess is an amazing card. As you can see, it's like the most powerful card in the hand because it is a 8-point card. Absolutely massive. Let me just throw a window up here. There we go, lovely. Already got some comments here. Jafar saying, one of my fave card games. Can't wait for this. Good to hear. And Raj Pai saying, looks interesting. Is the AI component for a single player game? Or it makes sense for multiplayer as most of digital board games. Yes, so there's an AI component so that you can just play against the AI single player style. That's exactly right. Obviously, you can play multiplayer with other people. We probably won't try that today because it's always a bit iffy. As we discovered in the last stream, playing with other people can be a bit tricky online. But at the moment, it's only in soft launch, so there aren't that many people, and I'm not sure if they're all hooked up yet. So, the princess. If you discard the princess, this is the power that they have. For any reason, then she burns the love letter that she was holding, and you're out of the round. So even though she's a really powerful card, she's also a bit of a liability. Because if I choose to discard her, I immediately lose the round. But if another player has the ability to remove a card from my hand, and they take her, I'm still out the round. So great to have her, very powerful card, but also dangerous. So, dismiss the princess like we just did. Let's see how the handmaid can help us in this situation. Click her card now. So here's the handmaid. Mid-level card, number 4. There's 2 of them in the deck, and as you can see, there's the second of the 2 cards by the stars. Now, the effect that she has is, until your next turn, ignore all effects from other players' cards. So, this is kind of an immunity card, which can be super ass useful. So, I'm going to drag her into my hand, because I'm basically playing this onto myself. So you can see there I got a little shield icon appear out the back. Your opponent was forced to discard their card because you used the handmaid to protect yourself, which is exactly what we wanted. The love letter is now safe with the princess. She's down here for now. But who's that walking down the hall? So we've got a priest that's been drawn. And now I've got the king, which is great news. The king is another fairly powerful card. GB Mark is saying not familiar at all with this game. I hadn't played, actually. I hadn't played the physical game prior to jumping on board. So, no, I completely understand. It's Princess Annette's father. What will he do? Click his card. Let's see. So, King Arnold IV will allow you to trade hands with another player when used. So I can use it to just steal my opponent's hand if I want to. Discarding the princess will cost me the round, so there's no choice but to play the king. You only ever have 2 cards in your hand at any one time. And because I've got the princess, I cannot discard her, so whatever comes into my hand, I have to play that now. So again, she's a powerful card, but a liability. So we're going to play the king, which means I am forced to take whatever hand they have. Hang on. Trying to grab hold of it. Come on, come on. Come on. There are a couple of little hitbox issues here, so I'm going to just scroll past this. Drag your king to the opponent area. There we go. That's me not clicking the pass. The remaining cards in the deck are shown here, so you can see this stack in the right-hand side that's flashing. The number of cards in that holder will decrease as the game progresses. Makes sense. When a player has to draw a card and the deck is empty, the round is over. So we basically cycle through all 16 cards. When they're all gone, then whoever you're holding in your hand who is the best has to be played. So now we've swapped hands. So you can see here, I've now got their Baron. They've got the Priest, and they've got this other number 1 hiding back here. But I now know that Senji has my Princess, which is kind of annoying. When a round ends, all players reveal their cards and the highest value card wins. So at the moment, they have the princess and they had the prince here. So I know that they've got the highest hand right now. Your opponent played the prince on you, forcing me to discard my card and draw a new one. So that's what the prince does. Forces you to discard a card and draw a new one. There we go. So I've discarded the Baron. Here comes a new one. I've got a guard card, the 4th of the guard cards. And I've drawn the countess. Very powerful card, number 7. Very nice. So you drew a guard to replace your Baron and have drawn the countess for your turn. A stroke of luck. You now know that your opponent still has the princess because we swapped hands earlier. So you can use your guard to knock them out of the round. So the guard card, remember, is the one that lets us hazard a guess. We choose a card that isn't a guard and say, I reckon you've got a prince or a baron or whatever. I know they've got the princess. So I can use the guard card play it on them, and then here's the option for cards I can choose. I am choosing the princess because I know they've got a princess. Here comes the question. Bam! We've broken their seal. I've won the round. Smashed it. Round complete. Beautiful. Countess goes back to the table. You gain a heart when you win a round of love letter. So down here at the bottom you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 potential hearts that I can win. These track Princess Annette's ever-growing affections for those suitors whose letters reach her. Because the idea is each one of these is like the letter does get passed to this Annette. And so she's reading them going, ooh, I do declare, Mr. Darcy. The first player to fill their row of hearts wins, obviously. That makes good sense. There we go. So now you've been thrown a couple of new cards. This is now the second round. The cards were shuffled and dealt, giving you a guard and a countess. Let's take a closer look at deduction and odds. So click the guard card. The star symbols on the card show how many of that card are in the deck. So there you go. I've got that 1 star. So there's 5 guard cards available, of which this is number 1. For example, there are 5 cards in the deck, so there are 5 stars on the guard card. When a card is revealed, one of its stars is filled in, helping you keep track of what might be left in the deck. So we've only revealed 1 guard card so far. This will rack up as we continue. So we can dismiss the guard card here. There we go. At the start of each round, some cards are removed from the deck and set aside. So these ones up here, you can see that 3 cards have been just pulled out of the deck. The number of removed cards depends on the number of players, and one of these cards is always secret. The deck has 2 Baron cards in it, so use your guard card to see if your opponent has a Baron. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to guess and see if they've got a Baron. Here we go. Let's play it out. No. Your opponent did not have a Baron, and now it's their turn. Even the tutorial's stitching me up. eChild 19. Great card game. Will this be for iOS? Also, will it have asynchronous play? Good questions, both of them. So the version that we have here, we're playing the Steam version, which has been in soft launch for a little while. We're going to get a release date, hopefully, for you very soon. But it is soon coming out on Steam. One thing we wanted to say is that you will be able to play a multiplayer game on it. This does have a multiplayer option that will work, I believe, asynchronously, because it's turn-based. By definition, it winds up being asynchronous. So yeah, you'll be able to play it with other people, but also you can play against the AI if you want to. As for iOS and Android, we can't say anything yet. Obviously, Asmodee does put lots of digital games onto mobile, but we can't confirm or deny whether this one is going onto mobile yet. But keep them peeled. So, the Countess must be discarded if your other card is the King or the Prince, which it currently isn't. So here you go. This is the rules for the Countess. There's only 1 Countess, so you can see there I've got her. 7, she's a very strong card. I could only be beaten if they have the Princess in their hand. But if you have this card and the King or Prince is in your hand, you've got to get rid of it. So again, liability. Luckily I don't, so I don't have to get rid of that card. Countess likes to play mind games and can even be discarded even if you don't have the King or the Prince. So this is where we start getting into bluffing, right? So the rules of the card is I have to get rid of her if we have a King or a Prince. And when we discard cards, they're put over here face up, yeah? So technically, I could make the opponent think that I have a King or a Prince by discarding the Countess. And then in the next turn, they might guess and go, haha, use a guard card and say, I reckon you've got a King. And I don't have a King. Then that screws them, you see. So you get a bit bluffy and interesting with it. Discard the Countess now by moving her to your play area. So we're going to play a bluff, basically. As soon as I put this down, the opponent goes, aha, they have a King or a Prince. See, look. Knowing that the King is in the pile of removed cards, your opponent guessed that you would have the Prince, because the King's already removed. We don't. So they've played the guard and failed. The mind games of the Countess worked. There you go. Here comes the Prince. So use your Prince on yourself to discard your guard and draw a new card. So that's another thing. Cards can be played on your opponents, or they can be played on you if you want to. So choose any player, including yourself, to discard his or her hand and draw a new card. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to play it on myself, And then that makes me get rid of the guard. Bang. And I get a new card here. So I've got the second of the two priests. My opponent's played the prince. Played it on me to make me discard my card. And it's given me the princess and the baron. So I've now got to hold on to the princess. We know that now. She has to be kept. And if I discard her, I'll lose the round automatically. So let's see what the baron does. You and another player secretly compare hands. The player with the lower value is out of the round. So when you use the baron, you secretly compare your hands. Here we go. The player with the lowest value is out of the round. As there is only one princess, go ahead and win the round. So there's only one princess in the deck. I've got her. It's a number 8. It can't be beaten. So I'm just going to go and win that. So let's play the baron. The comparison is done. My score is an 8. I've got the princess. Boom. Win. Round complete. That's another heart for me. Letter delivered. There we go. 2 hearts for me down on the bottom there. Good stuff. You now know all there is to becoming the princess's suitor. Finish the game and fill all of the remaining hearts. So let's see how we do. Right, okay, straight off the bat, I've got the princess. So this is us playing freestyle now. With the princess in my hand, I know that I can't play her, so I have to play the guard. If I play the guard, I can only play it on the opposition. There we go. Can't play it on myself. So I now have to guess what the other player might have. Now, you can see from the stars there that the king is in play. And a baron. So let's say we've got... I'm going to say king. However, I don't know if they might be the cards that are in the deck over here. That's the thing. 1, 3, 6. Yeah, I think that's the baron and that's the king that are played on the table. I don't know what they might have. Hang on, let me just check here. We haven't played anything else other than that. All right then. So, let's have a guess. Let's say that they might have the other baron. Do you reckon? Let's try the other baron. No. Damn. Worth a look. Okay, so they've drawn another card. They're going to play the prince. I think they played it on themselves, so they can discard it and draw another hand. I've got to keep hold of the princess, so I have to play the prince. And the prince lets you choose any player, including myself, to discard his or her hand and draw a new card. I'm going to say... I have to play it on the opponent, because I cannot play it on myself. Again, if I discard the princess, I'm boned. So, let's play it on them. They got rid of their handmaid. The handmaid is what they had. Right, they've played another guard. They've guessed that I had the number 4 card, which is the handmaid. I don't have that. They assumed I had the other one. Now we've got all of the guard cards in play. They're probably going to guess I have the princess pretty soon. That's what I'm afraid of. So, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 guard cards on the field and the 1 guard card on the table there, I believe. This is the secret card hidden at the bottom. I've got the princess. The prince is on the table, the second prince. And this other prince is in their hand. So let's see. What could they have? They could have the baron. They could have the countess. They could have the priest. So odds are on the baron or the priest. That's what I'm thinking. Asmodee Digital has chimed in this very week with news about this very week. So, Love Letter releases this week. It will be released on Steam, Google Play, and on the App Store at the same time. I wanted to check with the higher-ups before we could reveal it, but that's excellent news. So there you go, question answered, out this week. Exciting stuff. Let's go with the... I'm going to guess the priest. I bet you it was the baron. Let's see what they play. Oh, they had the countess. Interesting. Right, so if you have this card and the king or prince is in your hand, you must discard it. So it's either a bluff or they did actually have the king or the prince in their hand. So they've already played one of the princes. We've played the other prince, so it's got to be a king. They're probably holding a king or they're bluffing. Now we've got to play the priest, and that's looking at my other player's hand. What did we say? We said they reckon it's the king. Is that what we said? Let's find out. They were holding the priest. They've got the other priest. Now that's got to be a king as well. So they're playing the priest. They're looking at my hand. They now know I've got the princess. But the round is over. And they had the baron. I win. So I managed to hold on to the princess for the entire game. Nice. So you see how it's much more a game about like deduction. It's about guessing hands and working out what the other player has and then playing stuff accordingly. But you are still bound by the rules of the card, so you're often forced into situations where you have to do stuff. For example, the countess here. Now I can discard the countess and make him think I've got the king or the prince. Of course, once I discard it, it means I'm giving away a 7 card, and that's a good card. That's a powerful card. You and another player secretly compare hands to the baron. Let's choose. See, if I use the baron, they'll know I have the countess. Let's get rid of the countess. Let's play the guessing game, because there's loads of guards in the pack. They've played the handmaid. I forget what the handmaid does. That's the effect card. So the handmaid is effectively like a shield against all effects. Right, now I've got a king. Which is worrying because I played the countess when I didn't have a king as a bluff. Now I actually do have a king. So if they guessed that I've got one, they would be right now. Eee. Trade hands with another player of your choice. I might use it, actually. Yeah, let's trade it. Do it. Okay, they've played the handmaid. I couldn't trade hands with them for some reason. I've got a guard, so that allows me to guess. I think I might compare hands now, because then I can use the guard card. Oh, wait a minute, they're immune from the effect, aren't they? That's why I couldn't play it, because they've got the handmaid. 2 handmaids. Until your next turn. So I can't do anything to them. I can't even look at them right now. I can't even look at you right now. I don't know if I'll hold on to the guard or not. Screw it. I'll play the guard. I can't do anything. Because they're immune. Right. Now they should no longer be immune. Turn over. GB Marcus saying, hey, Asmodee representative. It's very official, GB Marcus. I like your respectful tone. So they played the guard card. And they failed. They guessed that I had a prince, I think, by the look of it. I did not have a prince. That countess gamble paid off earlier. So, I can now play a guard card, or I can play the baron and make us compare hands. Let's do that. Oh, nuts. I got beaten there. Oh, that was the one that is to do with value. I shouldn't have played that. I thought that was the comparing hands one. That's the one where you play and whoever has the lowest value card loses. And that was me. Murked it. Oh well. Live and learn, don't you? So he's got now 1 heart. I've got the 3. So I can still win with this next turn, but I've got to be a bit careful. We're straight out the gates with the princess. Very exciting. And now it's my job to hold on to her at all costs. I've got to play the prince. And I've got to make Senji discard their hand, because I can't discard mine. So they dropped the king. They've now pulled a guard. They're going to guess that I had... What did they guess? The number 6 card. They thought I had a king. I did not have a king. Handmaid. Brilliant. Handmaid gives me the shield. So I'm now immune to the effects of whatever Seiji plays. They played the priest. Can't do anything about it. I've got the countess. This is good. I can play the countess. I know I had a 1, says Chibi Marcus. I know. It all went a bit pear-shaped. That's my fault. Still getting to know the cards in this game, you know. This is all about knowing what's in the deck, what each valued card does, and what the alternative actions for them are, and like committing them to memory. I'm not quite there yet, but we're learning. So, the Countess, if you've got this card and the King or Prince is in your hand, you must discard the card. So, I've got to discard it anyway because I can't play the Princess. That will make Seiji think that I have a Prince or a King. Damn. The Baron's going to compare. No, I win. He did the comparison. And I've got an 8. Which is an automatic win. Because there's only one Princess. Boom. That's it. First place. Won the game. Outstanding. And there we go. That is a full game of Love Letter. Now, let's play it from the top. The very beginning. Single player classic. So you've got public multiplayer and private multiplayer online. So as you see, you can do the multiplayer. I might give it a try later on in the stream just to see if it's up and running. But because it's in beta, you know, you have to excuse if there are any issues. It is going to be going live, as our Asmodee Digital representative said, this week. And it's going to be live on all of the platforms. So it's going to be out on Steam. It's going to be out on iPhone, on iPad, and also on Google Play, all at the same time. Simultaneous launch window. Not bad, right? So let's take a full game with one other player, and then I'm going to add another after that. And I'm starting to feel a bit confident. So let's play Halbert. As you can see, many more hearts this time. Right, I've got 2 handmaids. So I'm immediately playing a bit of self-defense here. Bosh. Halbert plays the Countess, which means he's either got a prince or he wants me to think I have a prince or a king. So, I can play the guard now and guess prince or king, but it's a bit early in the day for that, so I'm going to play the handmaid again. They're playing the baron. Oh, no. But they... good, thank God. So they played the baron there, which was the compare the cost of your card. Luckily, I had the handmaid played before it, so I was immune to the effect. Is there a price set yet from Jafura? Again, we'll have to double check that one. Perhaps Asmodee, the Asmodee representative, as Chibi Marcus christened him, may respond with an answer to that one. So, we've got a guard card, we've got a prince. And that's the discard your hand card. Now then, we've got 2 handmaids in play. All the handmaids are spent. We've also got both of the barons out, because you've got 1 baron here and 1 baron on the table. The king is gone, and two cards. So what does that leave us? There's another prince that we can find. There's the priests. I'm going to assume that they don't have the princess. I'm going to hope they don't have the princess. I'm going to play the prince on myself. Discard my hand. Choose another 2 cards. Another card. In this case it's just guard. Oh no, that's not good. Oh, it is. They forced me to discard my hand. That's fine. We've got the princess, people. We're in business. So, I got to hold on to her no matter what. Priest. Look at another player's hand. That's all I can do. What do you got for me? They've got the priest as well. Okay. So give me a guard. Give me a guard. I know they've got the priest. They're playing a guard. They've guessed I've got the princess. No. Through deduction, they guessed I had the princess and I have lost. Nothing I could do about that. Just good deduction from my enemy there. Plenty to play for, though. Takes 7 to win. Okay. They played the handmaid. They are immune to whatever I do. I've got a countess and I've got a guard. The guard won't do anything. I'm going to use the countess, make them think I've got a king or a prince. They're going to use the guard. They've guessed a 5, as in a king or a prince, and they failed. So the bluff worked. Right. They are now damageable. So the priest rather, is looking at another player's hand. I'm going to play it. They've got the princess. So now, I can't get that off them. The only way I can win this properly now is by finding a card to make them discard their hand. Which, if I remember... I can't remember if that's the Prince. I think it's the Prince. And they've immediately played the Baron. They had the Baron straight afterwards. Damn. Because they knew they had the Princess, and that can't be beaten. So they did the hand comparison. Whoever had the highest card, they had the highest card. Can't beat that. They're doing quite well so far. Asmodee Digital conferring, thank you there, and reporting that they can't say the price at the minute, but if you add to the wish list, they will let you know. That's good stuff. And then, will local multiplayer be possible on the same iPhone or iPad? So pass and play, I think is what Chibi Marcus is referring to. Now, this round, I've got the Princess. So we're off to a decent-ish start. I have to play the Baron, and I've just immediately won. So there you go, random luck of the draw there, like they got last time. I've got the Princess, and I'm going to compare hands with them. Bosh, I know I've won. I've got the Princess. Round over. Nice. That's an extra heart for me here. We can chase them down. We can do this. Okay, so we've got the Baron and we've got the Prince. Now this is a bit of a gamble if I play the Baron. The Prince is a decent-ish card, but if I make them discard it, it's kind of a 50-50. Oh, this is interesting. Look, the 3 cards that are dealt out onto the table, 2 guards and the Princess. The Princess is not in play this round. She's on the table face down and not part of our deck. So the highest we can get is a 7 card, which I think is the Countess. I remember. So interesting. There's definitely no 8. If I do this is a gamble. If I play the Baron card, the 5 is okay, but they could have something else. Let's play the Prince and see what they actually had. If it's anything higher than a 5, I did the right thing. I did the wrong thing. I could have beaten them in that one shot. Damn. They now know I have a Baron. Okay. There's a 5 on the table, there's a 1 and a 2, and I'm holding a 1 and 2, and which means that there's a good chance the higher value cards are still in the deck or potentially in his hand. I know I might play a guard card here. So I know the Princess isn't there. I know that I know that there's 1 Prince on the table. I can't guess the guard cards anyway. There could be a priest, there could be a Baron. Could be a handmaid. Let's guess the handmaid. It's a random guess. No handmaid. Damn. Unfortunately, they played the Baron and they had a 7. They were holding on to the Countess. Nuts. So they played the Baron card, and after the change they knew that I didn't have it. If I'd been able to discard my whole hand, that would have been the play, because I would have been able to just get rid of everything I had, and the information that they'd gained from playing the Baron would have been worthless. But unfortunately I couldn't. So they discarded the Countess, potentially to make me think that they have, the king or the princess. King or the prince, rather. I can look at the other player's hand, or I can straight up play the Baron. I'm not going to do that right now. Let's see what they got. They do have the king. They weren't bluffing. They had to get rid of the card. Fair play. They're going to guess that I've got the number 4 card, which I don't have. I think that's the... Actually, I can't remember which number 4 card is. Right. So we've got the Countess and the guard on the table. I've got a guard in my hand. We've got a guard, a prince, and a princess, which are all out of the game up here. I don't want to play the Baron because I do not trust. I don't have a high enough value card. So I've got to play the guard. I've got to just have another guess. It's the only way to do it. So I can guess the handmaid again. Let's do it. I'm sticking with the handmaid. They got rid of their king, right? King's on the table now, yeah? No! I can't remember if that was the old game. They could have a king. Let's guess a king. I think that's what they had. So let's do it. King. Yes! That's it. Destroyed. God, I'm glad I remembered that. So that was an interception, that counts as. 2 arts for me. 3 for Halbert. Alright, we can do this. We can do this. I've got a prince card. And I got a guard card. I can make them discard their hand. Or I can make me discard my hand. What do we think? I'll make me discard mine. Let's get some better cards. Come on. Give me something good. Priest? Priest isn't great. They guessed not the priest. Can't do anything about it. And another guard. Oh, this is weak. So again, the princess is out of play. We've only got 1 handmaid. And we've got 1... And the king is also off the table. And we've got 1 of the princes here. So there's 1 prince left in play. There's a few guard cards and then all the other lower cards. The priest lets us peek at the other player's hand. They've got a guard. That's annoying because when you play the guard card and you have to guess, it has to be a non-guard card. So he couldn't guess that I had a guard. A guard cannot guess 1 guard's self. Revelation 44. The stars on the cards tell you how many of that card are in play or revealed. Absolutely. We walked to... you might be a late starter. We walked through the tutorial to begin with, so we did the explanation part, which gave us the info about that. But he's absolutely right. Close one, says Asmodee Digital in it. Okay, so we've got a handmaid now. This is good. Handmaid gives us protection. So I'm going to play that, and I'll be immune from the effects of any cards, because I no longer know what's in their hand. They've played a Baron. That's lucky, because I only had a guard, and the Baron, that would have killed me. 1 Baron out of play. Phew. Now I've got a Prince. So let's do a quick check of what's... We've got pretty much all the guards. There's only 1 guard left in play. Both the handmaids are out of play. There's 1 here and there's 1 on the table. Both the princes are out. 1 of the priests is still available. So let me just double check the cards. So, could be a priest. He could have a priest. He could have a baron. He could have a guard. Priest, baron, guard, or countess. Shall I make him discard his hand? I don't know now. Ooh. Priest, baron. I could have a guess with the guard and keep the prince card because it's quite high powered. Screw it. Let's play the guard and I'll have a guess. So priest, baron, or countess. Let's say they've got a... Oh god, I hate this bit. Let's say they've got the countess. Nope. At least I know the countess hasn't been drawn yet. That might be the countess though. Who knows? They're playing a baron. Oh, what? So they did have... They just drew the countess. That's what happened. That card that flew across just after I clicked it was the countess. I guessed her 1 turn too early. Damn. Okay, they've hit straight out the gate with a guard there. And I've got 2 guards. All the guards. And 1 of the guards is on the table, along with 1 of the barons. Good. And the princess. The princess again. Alright, so it's random guess time. Let's play the odds. What card is the most likelihood of being there? Could be a handmaid, could be a prince, could be a priest. Let's say handmaid. It's a random guess. I guess right. I played the odds. There were 2 in the deck. Interception. I got a win there. You're really forced into interesting situations in this game. It's that thing of constantly second-guessing yourself, doubting your calls. But the cards themselves put you into like difficult situations. I'm just going to tweak my camera because as the night falls here in the UK, as you can see, the green screen starts to go a bit funny. That means I've got to pump the brightness up a little bit here. Oops, make myself completely disappear. That's no good. Can I improve that a little bit? Pull the white balance out. There we go. Pull the white balance down a bit. That kind of helps. I think I might have another go at this. This is a little bit of on-screen action for you here. There we go. Perfect. This is a thing where, unfortunately, I've got lights in this room, but most of the strong light during the day when I start comes in through this window, and it forces everything to change. Cool. Okay. I've got 3, he's got 4. This is very much all to play for here. I got the princess, so I gotta hold on to her no matter what. So the prince, I've got to make him discard his hand because I've got to hold on to mine. He had the countess. Good. Get rid of that. That's a too powerful a card. Too powerful a card. They guessed a 4. I do not have a 4. Good job they didn't guess the princess. What I want here is a baron. I want a baron so I can immediately compare cards with them and win because I have the highest power card. Believe in the heart of the cards, says Asmodee. Thank you. I appreciate the support. So I've got to play, and this is going to be a bit of a random guess. We've already got the countess and the princess are out. The 2 princes are out. Odds-wise, there are 2 handmaids. There's 1 king. 2 of them haven't been revealed yet, so it's going to be this, or this. I'm going to play the handmaid again. It's not a handmaid. So we know the handmaid is still on the deck, although that right there could be a handmaid. I dare you to play a baron. They guessed I had a priest, which means maybe they don't have a priest. I'm going to play the handmaid now, which is great for me because I am immune to whatever they try and pull here. They pulled the king. It does nothing. I've got a priest, which means I have to look at the other player's hand. I'm going to do it. We're not comparing, though, importantly. One of the cards means you compare. One of them means you just look. I'm just looking. They've got a handmaid now. Again, the handmaid appears in their hand a turn after I guess it. They're going, they guessed the princess. Damn. Again, I couldn't do anything about that. There's no way. I had to play all the cards except for the princess. I had to play whatever I had that was in my hand. Nightmare. Ogre from Hell's tuned in. Hey, good to see you. You're joining me in a much more relaxed stream today because everything isn't going horribly wrong on a technical level compared to the last stream. Again, I'm sorry those of you who tuned in. It was very frustrating to have to try and play through a lot of technical delays with the audio. And no way to fix it, which was very frustrating. But none of those problems this week, I'm delighted to say. So, they've got the priest on the board. I've got the priest in my hand, so I know full well there's not another one of those. I can guard and guess, or I can just look. Let's just look. They've got a baron. If they play that, I'm done for, because I've only got a guard. Oh, thank you. So now I can play the guard, and I know they've got a baron. So you, I guess baron. Come on. Easy as that. Sometimes it's dead simple, and you can get them in like 2 rounds because of the deal. Which is kind of what makes this fun. Some rounds will play out for a really long time, and you'll get right to the bottom of the pack, and there's this process of like deduction that goes on for ages. Whereas sometimes you just get a pairing of 2 cards that complement each other, and it's like, bam, straight in there. Insta-kill. Okay, we got a guard, we got a prince. That one lets us discard. I can guess or I can discard. I'm tempted to guess and hold on to the prince for the time being, just in case they have a baron. So I don't like the only card being left in my hand being a guard, because it's so low powered. So let's play a guard and have a guess now, just to make sure. On the table already is the baron, the guard, and the handmaid. So we will play the odds. They might well have a guard, but let's say they have the... We could play the odds with the prince, but everything else has a 1 in 1 chance. Let's say they have the princess. No. Well, that's good news. Ogre from Hell asking what the goal of the game is. The goal of the game is to pass... Actually, I had a handmaid. Is to get your love letter to the princess. I've got the princess in my hand right now. Fantastic. And the idea is that whoever is in your hand at the end of the game, they are the person who's going to carry your love letter to this princess. The other player is also drawing characters from the court. So princes, guards, handmaids, all that kind of thing. Each of which have specific powers. And the idea is you've got to make it so that you have the most powerful card in your hand at the end of the game. So I've got the princess, which is the most powerful card in the game. So number 8. So if we try to compare cards right now, I would win. Off the bat there. But there are attributes that each card has which can change the way that the game plays. So there are skills that I can play on myself. There are skills I can play on my opponent to try and mess them up. And so it's all about deduction. Deduction and finagling of the court. So when I've got a princess, as we've already explained, but for you, Ogre from Hell, I have to keep hold of the princess. So if I discard this card, I'm out of the round. So I've got to play the prince. The prince lets you discard... you or your opponent discard their entire hand. So I can't play it on myself. The princess won't let me. So I got to play it on my opponent. However, Halbert is protected by their handmaid. That's the power of the handmaid. It acts like a shield. So I kind of have to play it on myself and commit game suicide now. That's a nightmare. Again, that's a pairing of cards that can't be fought against. I've got to play it on myself because I can't play it on Halbert. So I just lost that round. That's the break. Okay. So they've got a prince, I've got a baron. Now, if they win this game, I am out of it. I've got 3 hearts. They have got 6. I only need 1 more to win. So, there's a baron on the table, because they played the prince and made me discard it. I've got a priest and I've got a handmaid. I'm going to play the handmaid, and she's going to provide some protection for me. So whatever they play here, it won't hurt me. They got the priest, which meant they would be able to look at my hand. But they couldn't see it. Now I've got the countess. I can discard the countess and make them think I've got a king or a queen. Or I can look at their hand. I might look at their hand, actually. They've just got a guard. That's it. Okay. Now what they've got? They either play the guard or the new one. They play the prince. And they force me to discard the countess. I've now got the handmaid and the guard. I'm going to play the handmaid to protect myself. Because that way I get another card on the table. They tried to play the card and couldn't. I've got the princess. Nice. And I've got a whole bunch of cards in play. Now, let's try and do some deduction. Now is the time. We have got all the handmaids out on the field. All the only countess, both the priests, both the handmaids, and both the barons. We've also got the king and the guards. So there's precious few cards left now. In fact, I think it's only guards. And I can't guess guards. So I just got to guess another one, which I know for a fact it's not going to be. But it doesn't matter, because now they've got a guard. I know that. We're all out of cards. I got the princess. That's the highest card in the deck. I win. We're still in the game, folks. Still in the game. Okay. Getting the feel of it. I'm getting the flow of how the thing works. It's really interesting. So then, I'll move this over a little bit. A little bit of extra light. I got a prince and I got a guard. The prince, I can either discard my hand or theirs. Let's make them discard their hand, whatever they've got. They had a prince as well. They were going to make me discard my hand. Right, they've got a handmaid, which makes them immune. And I've now got a king. I don't get the king very often. That's me trading hands with another player of my choice. Now, I can't play this because whatever I try and do to them won't work. So I'm going to just ditch the king and keep the guard. They're going to try and guess a card. They can't guess a card, so I'm in the clear. No problem there. The priest lets me look, but they don't see my card. I like that. That's good. And then so they've got a handmaid. There's a chance I could guess their card next turn. Let's see what they play. I bet they play the handmaid. They do. Damn. So they've played the handmaid, which means they're protected against whatever I do. And now I've got the princess. Right. So I can't play the guard on them. I can only just discard the hand. Discard the card, rather. Damn. Now they know I've got the princess. But I've got the baron. And the baron lets me compare hands. So I've got the princess. Compare, you cannot win. Boom. We are level pegging now. It is 6 hearts apiece going into the final round. Excellent. All right then, this is it, the tiebreaker. I got a handmaid and I got a prince. Not bad. Okay. I'm going to ditch the handmaid and keep the prince, giving me protection for this round. I'm playing the priest to try and look at my card. Didn't work. They don't know. I could gamble here by playing the baron. But I've only got the prince in my hand. We know the countess is out of play. But the princess is in the deck. So they could quite easily have either another prince, which I guess would be a stalemate. But they could have the princess. Actually, it's quite low odds they would have the princess, thinking about it, isn't it? It just depends on what the number 6 card is. Yeah, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to make them discard their hand. And I'm going to keep the baron. They had a prince. So it would have been stalemate. They're going to play the guard. They've guessed I've got a baron. Oh no. That's it. They guessed right. Good, just an impossibly good guess from them. Nothing I could do there. And that's it. They won. Close though. Ludicrously close. That was good. I enjoyed that. Okay, now we're going to up the stakes a little bit. Let's bring in another player. Let's bring in Declan. Bummer indeed. Ogre from hell. But not to worry, I am not defeated that easily. Let's see what happens when we've got 2 players other than myself on the table. So, got a guard and I got a king. Now you'll notice that they haven't discarded cards onto the table this time. There's no 3 sitting there because we've got more players. There's only 1 secret one. So they're now like the full 15 cards which were in the stack originally. So, trade hands with another player of your choice. Or guard and guess. I'm going to trade cards with... Where am I? Let's guard and just randomly guess. I'm going to guard Declan. And I'm going to guess, by playing the odds, it's going to be one of these 2 cards. Declan's got a priest in his hand. Declan did have a priest in his hand! Bam! What a guess. So Declan's now out this round. It's just me versus Philip. Sorry if I made your ears pop there, by the way. By squawking in glee. That's awesome. Alright, okay, cool. Carrying on now. They played a handmaid, so whatever I play this hand isn't going to affect them. I can play the priest and try and look, but it's no good. Let's ditch the king. And keep the priest, because I want to see what they've got in their hand. They're playing a guard. They guessed not the priest and failed. I can play baron, but then I don't know what they got. So I'm going to play the priest and see what they got in their hand. They got the countess. Good job I didn't play the baron. I would have been boned. They've now played a handmaid, which makes them immune. Please don't get the princess. Good. We've got a guard. So I know that they've got the countess. So I can play guard. Ah, Philip's protected by the handmaid. No. Okay, alright, fine. So I can't win on points, so I'm going to discard my baron. But I know they've got a countess. If they play the countess this turn, they play a guard. They can't guess a guard. You fail. Now, you've got a countess in your hand. Get down. That's a win. We have drawn first blood. Starting to get the hang of this. Okay. A handmaid and a baron is what we've got. I'm going to play my handmaid for protection off the bat. Let's see what those two do. Philip's got handmaid as well. Declan, what's your play? You're going to guess. You can't guess anything on anyone. But now we're in king territory. I do not have the confidence to play a baron right now. There's too many high-powered cards in the deck, so I'm going to swap with... I can only swap with Declan. So let's swap with Declan. He's got the baron, and I got the prince. Philip tried to guess Declan's and failed. He's going to play the baron against Philip, and Philip loses. So Philip is now out of the round. And I got a guard. So, right. A lot happened there. So, we've got the baron and the guard over there. Two more guards and the handmaid over here. And I've got the handmaid and the king. So, we've got one prince, which has been revealed so far. So there's another prince. So let me just double check. So the countess and the princess are still in play. And there's a couple of priests too. And there's at least one baron still kicking around as well. So I don't know what Declan's got there. My problem is, if I swap with Declan, I think I might discard my hand. Because there should be more high-powered cards in the deck. I got a prince. And they got a new card. Ooh, I don't like that. They've guessed wrong, though. They guessed the priest. Now I have a priest. Ooh, I've got a nasty feeling they've got, like, the princess in their hand. Now, if I did the prince, I could swap with whatever they've got. Which would be good if they've got the princess. However, if they have a baron, they would know what I had in my hand and they could immediately play it against me. And there is still one more baron in the deck. So, what do I do? Let's look at their card. Let's look at it. They've got the baron. That was a good play. So if they compared hands now, that's the only card they've got, and I've got a prince, so I could beat them. But what's that card they just got dealt? It's a priest. They're looking at my card. They know I've got a prince. I've now got the princess. I'm going to have to force them to discard their hand because I cannot play the princess. So you've got to get rid of all your cards, draw a new one. Whatever that secret card is it was the countess, and I win because I got the princess. 2-0 at the moment. Yeah, that's right. It's going pretty well. It's going all right so far. Let's crack on. So we've got a handmaid in play and a prince. So I'm going to handmaid myself for protection. Force fields up. Philip's got a prince to try and change hands with Declan. Declan plays a guard. Plays a handmaid. So Declan's protected this round. Philip isn't. And that's the second prince. So I can discard his or her hand and draw a new card. So I can make Philip discard his hand. I think I might do that. Had a guard, that's all. Now they've drawn 2 cards, which might be powerful. Oh no, they've guessed I had a baron. That's it, I'm out. Nuts. Don't know how they did that. Now, I watch these two fight amongst themselves. Philip plays the countess, but gets absolutely nothing off the back of it. Declan plays a guard, guesses the number 6, which is correct. Round completed. So that's 1 for Declan. Okay. Declan is my competition at the moment. Let's keep it going. Got 1 handmaid. A guard and a king. So, Declan's immune this round. I can guard and guess, or I can trade hands with Philip. I don't want to do that, because if I do that, I'm going to give Philip a guard, and then Philip will know whatever I have. So that's a bad move. So I've got to play the... Excuse me, I've got to play the guard. Now, this is just going to be a random guess. Odds say it'll be a baron, a prince, or a priest. Let's go with... Let's just go with the other prince. A prince. It's a guess. It's wrong. Whatever. Now, they've peeped my card. Philip now knows that I have a king. Got to remember this. Oh, and Declan went ahead and guessed that I had a king. Everyone's on me now. That's it. That's it. It's me out. Now, we're rooting for Philip to win here. Because I don't want Declan drawing... Oh, no. Declan's done another win. He's drawn level with me. Oh, I had the princess. Well, can't really fight against that. GB Marcus asking, question for future streams. Since Playdeck is under Asmodee's wings, will you consider sometime playing Agricola on stream? Which I'm pretty sure I did a review of on mobile in like 2014 or something. And I referred to it the entire time as Agricola. Which I'm not proud of. But, you know, I was younger and wrong. What can I say? Alright, let's play a handmaid and give myself some protection for this round. Declan tries to guard and fails. I get a priest as well as a baron. Philip's out for the count. So it's just me and Declan. Let's look at Declan's cards. What do you got? Declan's got a prince. I can't beat that with a baron. He's got a prince. And he now looks at my card. He's wiped out the baron. I got a countess. And I got a priest. If I play the countess, I can play the guessing game. But I'm going to hold on to it just for the sake of the power right now. I like that big number. If I play the priest, what do you got? They've got the princess. They've got the princess. I need a guard. Just give me a guard. Don't guess my countess. Don't. Nice. Give me a guard, give me a guard, give me a guard. Nuts. If I play the Baron, its highest point wins. And I know they've got the Princess. So I cannot play this card. So I gotta remove the Countess from the deck. That's my only move. But again, I know they've got the Princess. Just give me a guard. What are they gonna guess? They guessed unwisely. Ugh. The problem is that all these guards have already been put out in play. Look, there's only one guard left in the pack. Now I can make them discard the prince. Oh, I can make them discard the princess. And if he discards the princess, he loses automatically. So, get rid of your hand, buddy. There it is. They had to drop the princess because my card makes them get rid of it. And if they get rid of it, game over. This is cracking. Jafaro says, thanks everyone, looks great. Can't wait to check it out in the App Store. Good news, glad you approved of it. Enjoy the rest of your evening / morning / afternoon, wherever you are. I'm going to play the Handmaid. We're currently 3 versus 2 between me and Declan. Philip, not even in the game, really. Totally out of it. They've guessed that we had the princess, and they are wrong. So wrong. And then Declan tried to guess that Philip had a handmaid, which they didn't. I've now got a guard for guessing if I want to. So I've got the Baron for comparisons. I'm no way I'm going to play that at the moment. Let's play the guessing game. I want to take Declan out, ideally. And it's going to be pretty random. So, again, we play the odds. It's a priest or a prince. Purely based on the numbers. So let's guess prince. Nope. No skin off my nose, but had to do it. He's playing the Baron with Declan. And that puts Declan out. So it's me and Philip now. This is good because Philip's not got a score on the board yet. So I like that. Okay, now I've got the princess. So now I have to play the Baron, which is perfect. Because the Baron is the one that you compare your scores, and the highest score wins. I got the highest score. Bye, Philip. Bye. Smash. 3 hearts. You notice that we've got fewer hearts to win the game in this one. I think that's because we've got more players. So we don't go all the way up to like 7 rounds. We only do 5 rounds because each round takes longer. Okay, I'm not playing the Baron, obviously, so we're going to play the guard card, and we're going to randomly guess, and my guess is going to be a prince. Didn't work last time, might work this time. No. It is what it is. I need 1 more to win. Philip guessed that I had the countess. I do not have the countess, Philip. It's very presumptuous, but Declan does. Declan had to get rid of it, which means Declan might have a king or a prince. I guessed he had a king. No, I guess he had a prince. So maybe he's got the king, or maybe it's a bluff. I'm going to play the handmaid regardless. Self-defense. Philip's played a guard. Guess Declan has the princess. Declan has the princess. Good guess from Philip. They're out. Princess is now on the table, as is the countess. So the highest card now in play will be a 6. I'm not going to play the Baron because I don't have a 6. Let's see what Philip's got. What do you got? He's got the king. Philip's got the king. I want a guard. Now we're going to swap hands. So now I've got a priest. He's got the king. I don't need to look at his hand. I know what he's got. Oh no, he's played the king already. I'm going to play the handmaid for protection. Do your worst, Philip. Good job as well. Because you played the Baron and I would have died. And now I've got a Baron. Damn. But there's not another one in play, so they can't do anything about that. However, we're out of cards. This is the last one. I have a nasty feeling Actually, hang on. Hang on a minute. There's two more cards left. The 7's gone. The 8 is gone. Where's the 6? The 6 is gone. The 5, there's still a 5 in play. So I can't Baron. Because there might be a 5 there, and I don't have it. So I gotta priest him. What do you got? He's got the 5. The deduction was correct. Okay. So he's got a prince. Give me a guard. He knows. I was gonna say, he knows I've got a Baron. Of course he does. I needed that guard card. Nothing I can do there. Fine. You win this one, Philip. But you're not invited to my sexy royal wedding. That will definitely happen. Plays the king. We're swapping hands and giving me the princess. He just tried to Baron me out of the gate, but I've got the princess, so Declan's out. This is insane. Right, I gotta play Handmaid now. Problem is, if he gets a guard card, I'm boned. I'm boned. Luckily, I played the Handmaid, so he couldn't get me. Ha ha! And I got a Baron. You're about to get Baroned, my friend. What's that? I got a princess, and you don't? Oh no, that's such a shame. That means I win the entire game. I'm losing my royal composure. Come on. First place. Glorious. Glorious. So you get these little tokens as well, which indicate stuff. So use a prince to force a player to discard the princess, which I did. Use the guard card to correctly guess another player's cards. So it gives you points based on each of those. That's kind of fun. So 500 points. Mullered them, ladies and gentlemen. Laughing. Big smiley face from Rogue from Hell. Okay, let's just see if we can squeeze a really quick game. 4-player game. 4 players. Gladys, Raphael, Gaston. Let's do it. I'm fighting the guy out of Beauty and the Beast. I got 2 princes in my hand. Double princed. I'm going to make Gaston discard his hand. That's Gaston had the countess. Gladys has played a handmaid, making them immune to any action this turn. Raphael's played the Baron, and he's played it against Gaston. Gaston has lost, so he's out. I got a prince and a priest. Let's see what Raphael is holding. Oh, they've got a Baron. However, if he tries to Baron me, they guessed I had the princess, which means Gladys definitely doesn't have the princess. Raphael just looked at Gladys's card. I'm going to play the handmaid and hold on to the 5 so I can be protected for whatever happens this round. They've played the guard. They're guessing that Raphael had a 5, which he doesn't, because I've got the prince, not Raphael. Raphael's playing a guard and is guessing Gladys has the prince. They're all guessing that someone has the prince. Me. I got the prince. I got the prince. And now I've got the princess as well. Oh, mama. And this is the last card. This is the last play. So I'm going to choose Raphael to discard their hand. Draw the Baron. Mystery card comes out. Round complete. Who's the winner? Oh, yes. That's right. GB Marker saying the game looks fun and is suited for both big and small screen. Will buy. We've got a sale. But which I mean there's no small text to read. True. Yeah. I bet you this will fit well and with the swiping and pulling out cards and stuff on the touchscreen. Plus the art is really nice. And it's kind of simple and quick and pacey. And quick and pacey is good for mobile. Alright, I got a priest, I got a guard. Let us choose Gaston. What are you holding, Gaston? Gaston's holding a priest as well. So if Gaston doesn't play the prince, I can guard him and get rid of him. Doesn't play the prince, sorry, doesn't play the priest. Raphael's ditched the countess, and Gadsden is playing the guard on me and failed. So I know he has a priest. I've got 2 guard cards. I've got to play one of them. You have a priest, my friend. Good night, Gaston. No one fights like Gaston. No one writes like Gaston. No one loses at board games quite like Gaston. I don't really watch that film much. I think I just got battered. I just got battered. I got baroned by Raphael. Oh. This is an outrage. And Raphael just got battered by Gladys. Fair play to Gladys. Oh, she had the princess. Not much to be done against that. Right, I've got one option, and that option is guard. Right, he's going to Prince Gladys, so they're going to swap hands. And Gaston is priesting me, and now knows that I have a guard. And a handmaid. So I'm going to handmaid myself, which will protect against Gaston's looking at me, which he might do. Gladys tried to guard Raphael and see what they had and failed. Raphael is playing a priest on Gladys. Now knows what Gladys has. Gaston plays the Baron on Raphael and takes them out. Which means Gaston's got something higher than a 4 because he beat the handmaid. He might have the other prince. He doesn't have the countess because I've got it. He might also have the princess. Okay. So I can go up to Gaston here and maybe guess that they have the princess, or I can play the countess, which is just a case of discarding and making people think I have the queen. Sorry, I'm making people think I have a king or a prince. I might guard you because I reckon you've got something powerful. Let's say you got the princess. Yes! What a guess! They've got the princess. Fantastic. Alright. Baron me all you like, baby. I got a countess. Yes! What did you have? You had a king. It was worth a try, man. It was worth a try. But all for naught. I held on to that countess. Fantastic. Right, playing the handmaid for self-defense. Always a good first turn move. Gladys is spying on Raphael. Raphael is ditching the countess, either to make us think he's got a king or a prince, or he's bluffing. And Gaston is looking at... Was it Raphael he peered on? I don't know. So I reckon... He's got a king or a prince, maybe. Let's guess. Let's play the odds and say, I've got a prince. There's one king. There's one prince left in the deck. Let's say you got yourself a king. Nuts. Letting out your inner woman intuition. Ogre from hell. I pride myself on my inner woman intuition. Alright, that's Raphael out the game because it was guessed that he had a prince. Another guard in play from Gladys there. Now, the princess is still in play somewhere. Both the princes are off the table. The king is still in play. So if I try and baron someone, I'm pushing my luck. However, if I play prince, I run the risk of swapping hands with someone and giving them a baron when they know what I've got. This is tricky. I'm gonna discard my hand and pick up something new. I got a guard. That's not good. That wasn't good. Not gonna lie. And Gladys just immediately baroned me. Damn it. That's me out. Gladys so far is doing quite well. Round complete, and the winner is, based on points, Gaston. All right. Way to go, Gaston. It's 1 each to Gladys and Gaston, 2 for me. We can do this. We've got a guard, we've got a priest, we've got a prince. I'm going to spy on Gladys. What you got, Gladys? Gladys got a handmaid. Good card. Interesting, they didn't play their handmaid. What's Raphael going to do about this? Baroning Gaston and losing. That's what you get. So Gaston has something higher than a 3. Or whatever they had. Gaston had the countess. Which they've now ditched. I've forgotten what Gladys had. Nuts. I spied on him and I forgot what I saw. It doesn't record it for me. That would be too easy. Okay. That's the trade hands, isn't it? I always forget the king does because I so rarely pick it up. Prince, choose any player, including yourself, to discard. Gaston, ditch it. Whatever it is, ditch it. Boom, dead. Forced Gaston to ditch it. Gaston had the princess. If you lose the princess, you lose the round. Gaston is out. It's me and Gladys now. I got a king. I got a priest. What do you got? They got the handmaid. That's what they had. They're still holding on to that handmaid. Oh no, they guessed I had the king. Bugger. That's less than ideal. Okay, they're playing guard on Gaston. Raphael's putting the guard up with the handmaid, so they can't do anything to him. Gaston guessed incorrectly. I got both the priests. I guess we're priesting it up then. Let's spy on Gladys. Gladys got a guard. That's useless to me because I can't guess guards. So you've got a guard and a prince. You've now played the prince on Gaston. Raphael is guessing that Gladys had a prince, which it didn't. And guess Raphael had the princess, which Raphael doesn't. I've now got a king. Let's spy on No, let's spy on Gladys again. I've still got the guard. Damn. That was a waste. Ogre from Hell wanting to be able to pick a name, I guess. Like, choose your own kind of character name as you just played as you. I think I might be able to customize that, you know. I haven't tried, but I might be able to customize that. Ugh, end of the round. Gladys had the princess, so we got beaten there. 3-2. Well, as it stands, we are wrapping up this stream anyway. Those of you who have tuned in for the entire duration of this thing, Chibi Marcus, Ogre from Hell, and others, thank you very much for sticking with us and watching it. This has been fun. I've enjoyed this one. So, Love Letter is the name of the game. As was already mentioned earlier in the stream, you can download it later this week on iPhone, on iPad, on an Android device, or from Steam, which is the version that I've been playing right now. We can't confirm a price yet, but add it to wish lists or pre-order on the app stores and you will be able to have an idea of what you're expected to pay for it. But I don't think there's been a better demonstration of the game available online. If you want to catch up with the whole thing, you can do so by clicking into the old Twitch stream and watching the old videos. And being as I usually work on Pocket Gamer and Pocket Gamer's YouTube channel, we've just done a big rebrand over there at Pocket Gamer, brand new site. Go and check it out. You'll also be able to catch up with all of our Twitch streams from the entire Asmodee Digital streaming series over there too. So, thank you for watching as always. We will be back again next week with another game to stream for you. And in the meantime, hope you find something you like on the app stores, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.